It's time to take a look as 2024 is rapidly coming to a close here. What have you accomplished this year? Let's talk about it. This time on Wyce Thoughts.
It's time for a virtual campfire sit-down with Terry Wyce. Welcome to Wyce Thoughts.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. Welcome back to Wyce Thoughts. I am Terry Wyce, and I am very happy that you decided to spend some of your valuable time with me today on the podcast. And before we get started, just so you know, WyceThoughts.com is the website, W-Y-C-E, WyceThoughts.com. There you can listen to each and every episode of this podcast. Also, check out the blog entitled Wyce Life for some musings on the world around us with yours truly. And also, you can check out the latest videos from the YouTube channel, so aptly named Wyce Thoughts. You can look for me on YouTube at Wyce Thoughts. I am on X, formerly known as Twitter, just at Terry Wyce as well. You can find me on LinkedIn as well. I'm all over the place. And just do us one small favor, if you would, please. If you enjoy the podcast and you're getting some value and entertainment out of it, share us with your friends and leave a rating and review on your favorite podcast provider, or you can leave a review at the website at WyceThoughts.com. All right, great. Did all the house cleaning. We're done with the house cleaning. And as promised, we're going to talk about this time on the program at our virtual campfire sit-down here on Wyce Thoughts. The year 2024 is rapidly coming to a close. I mean, as of the recording of this podcast, I'm not sure when you're listening, if you're listening currently or sometime in the future, so this would be a past episode for you to listen to. But we are into October already in the year 2024, and we've just got November and December. That's it. Basically, the rest of this month and November and December, and we're done. 2024 is completed and in the books. Have you accomplished the things that you wanted to accomplish? I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't. I'm a little, dare I say, disappointed in myself. Yeah, I can say that. I had higher expectations for myself this year, and I'm just going to be perfectly upfront and candid with you, as I believe in being. Some, to the detriment of my children and grandchildren, would say, TMI, too much information is that abbreviation. But, what else, if for this medium, do we not have is just share, information, share our lives, share our opinions, share our insights. And that's what I do here on Wyce Thoughts. So I'm going to give you a couple of my thoughts thus far on the year 2024. I had wanted to lose more weight. Now, I know a lot of you say, well, Terry, hey, man, you've been talking about that for 2 years now. What the hell? What's going on? It's my own short-sightedness. It's my own lack of determination, willing to follow through, because here's what happens with me, folks. I'll lose 5, 6, 7 pounds, and then I am very proud of myself, and dare I say boastful, and I'm like, yeah, I lost that weight. And then I'm like, I can have a slice of pie. I can have some M&Ms. I can have this. I can have that. And next thing I know, within a week or so of time, I'm like, a couple of weeks' time, it's back or close to it. So I'm doing this, I call it treading water with my weight loss challenges right now. And I'll be, I'm 6 foot, almost 6'1", okay? And I'm hovering right now between 214, 215. Now, some may say, well, Terry, that ain't bad. You don't look bad. You don't look like you're fat, and I'm just using this. I'm saying this to me, fat, okay? Because I don't want anybody to get triggered out there or get emotionally upset. That's not my intention. I'm speaking about myself, okay? And I got a little pot belly, a little chubbiness around the midsection. And I can see it in my face too, and I feel it. I feel it in parts of my body. And I have been told by my doctor and my wife, who thinks she's my doctor, although I don't know what medical school she attended to. I've yet to see her credentials. But anyhow, that, if you would lose, she'd say, honey, if you would lose that 15 pounds, 16 pounds, get under 200, I think you would feel a lot better. Yeah, and my doctor says the same thing. It's just, I don't know about you, but it's just so damn hard. And I talk a lot on this program about sticking to your guns, being proactive in your own life, being the captain of your own ship, as it were. And I say a lot of those things and do a lot of episodes, not only just for you out there listening, but for me, because I need to hear it. I need to be reminded. I need to be encouraged. I need to be, taken to task when I'm not living up to the expectation. So I do it as much for myself as I do for everyone else that may want to listen and maybe find some encouragement and some lessons on what maybe not to do by listening to me. And I really, that's one of the, I'll just say it, one of the disappointments of this year that I did not get under 200 pounds yet. Now, there's still time. I know you said, Terry, come on, the year's not over, bud. The year's not done yet. We're only talking, coming out here, in the first week of October of 2024. You got 2 months. Come on. I mean, you can drop, 10 pounds by the end of the year. And I guess I suppose that's the moniker and the encouragement I want to take. I don't know about you, but man, I love to eat. Okay. I'm a human being, a human doing. And my weakness is just good damn food, no matter what kind it is. It could be American cuisine. It could be Oriental cuisine. It could be Italian cuisine. It could be Polish cuisine. Any kind of, ethnicity cuisine. If it's good and delicious and it's good stuff, man, I want it. And I know everything in moderation. I say it a lot on this program. Everything in moderation, and you'll be okay. But I do find myself at times being gluttonous and saying, yeah, give me some more of the, roast beef and gravy and potatoes. Give me my meat. Give me my potatoes. But there's times, too, when I pull back and, have some salad, more veggies and such. I guess what it boils down to is I am struggling with the laying out my food choices in a pre-programmed manner. I'm more on autopilot a lot of the times, and I'll admit it. At times I do stress eat. I figure, what, stress eating is better than, I don't know, abusing other substances. Not that I, would want to, but what I'm saying is it's better than doing that. Now, I know some of you out there are probably saying to yourself, well, Terry, if you get under stress, just go for a power walk. Do some push-ups, whatever, do some arm curls with some light weight or, walk around the block or go for one of your 1 mile or plus walks that you like to do. Yeah. But let's face it, sometimes you just can't do that, you're at your desk at the office or I'm in the studio and I'm doing things and I try and take I try to take breaks every so often and step away from something and, you get a little stress in your life and stuff. And that's something I think we all can learn how to do better. And we all, in one form or another, have to challenge with is dealing with everyday life and stress. And good Lord knows the media and the world around us doesn't help, right? We know that. Good Lord. Especially over the past, 5 to 8 years, how it's been. But that's one of the things, 2024, what have I accomplished? Well, I haven't hit that goal, but let me say this with a disclaimer, yet. There's still time. There's still well over 2.5 months before the year ends. So let's try and remain positive, shall we? We'll do that. We'll try and remain on the positive side with that. Now, something else, as far as 2024, what I feel that maybe a little bit of a letdown. Creatively, I have not released probably any new music in almost over a year. It's been actually probably 2 years since I've released new music, because I like to play instruments and attempt singing, and amongst other things, more creative projects. I have completed in this past year or plus. I would say this past year I've completed 8 audiobooks for Audible, and done other various voiceover work and projects. However, for my own satisfaction, I had wanted to release more music. I have songs written. I have stuff ready to be produced and recorded. It's just been, when I've been ready to go into the studio and do it, something's come up, and then it gets pushed on the back burner, and then something else comes up, and then it kind of gets, unfortunately, out of sight, out of mind, because I haven't scheduled it in on the calendar. But the songs are there. The arrangements are pretty much all there. It's just getting, getting my ass in the studio and doing it, and just downright just doing it. So that's on me. I take responsibility. I take ownership of that. Some other things, again, relating, circling back around to the health forum or discussion, besides the weight loss, eating better, making better food choices, and trying to cut down on some of the sugar, because I'll tell you, besides the just darn good food, I love my chocolate. Milk chocolate, dark chocolate, what have you. I'm not a fan of white chocolate, but, milk chocolate and dark chocolate, oh yes, absolutely. I like the sweets here and there. I like a good pastry. I like a good cake, or a nice pie. Who doesn't, I guess? But I have a very dear friend who had given up, actually he's given up pretty much almost all sugar. He feels good. He looks good. He's dropped a lot of weight over the past year and a half. And he says, hey, just start cutting down on sugar. But, man, sugar is in almost everything. High fructose corn syrup, my friends, is sugar. I guess probably what I should do, and maybe what I may do in 2025, if I don't feel that I have or can acquire enough knowledge, I may just go to a nutritionist, and maybe that way someone to keep me accountable and kind of steer me here and there, because there's a lot of information on the internet about stuff like that. There is. But there's also a lot of bad information on the internet about stuff like that, too. What else? 2024, as it kind of draws to a close. I haven't read as many books as I've wanted to. I'm in the process of still trying to finish a six-book series. I'm close to the end, though. I'm close to the end. I wanted to read at least 25 books this year, and I'm nowhere near it. If I've read 10, that's a lot. I actually didn't even write down how many, and that's including the 6-book series that I'm about to complete. So that's something I'm going to do as a goal setting for the year 2025, is to read 25 books in 2025, a minimum of 25 books. If I go over, great. Because reading, believe it or not, studies have proven, reading, for those of you that do enjoy it. Now, I know there's some people out there that read and it just doesn't do anything for them. They can't get drawn into a story. Myself, when I read a book, I start seeing, I guess you would call it, in your mind's eye. I visualize the story almost like a movie. And that's something I've had ever since I was a youngster. And I was absolutely a voracious reader. I mean, I read the book, Peter Benchley's Jaws, when I was in 7th grade. I read Dawn of the Dead, the George Romero movie, Dawn of the Dead. I read that book. I read a series called The Magic of Xanth by Piers Anthony. And when that was released, it was a 3-book-in-1 series, well over 1,400 pages. Think, i.e., Stephen King. The Stand, well over 1,200-plus pages. I read The Stand by Stephen King, believe it or not. I was reading these long-form, different types of books. I read crime novels. Star Trek. I love Star Trek and science fiction. I was a member of the Science Fiction Book Club back in the late 70s, early 80s, where you would Think of, for those of you that can recall this, or maybe old enough to recall this, Columbia House, get 12 cassettes for a penny, or, and then it was 12 CDs for a penny. Well, they had something called the Science Fiction Book Club where you got a half a dozen books for, I believe it was $1. And then you had to buy, I think it was 5 books or something in the next 5 years. And the books were hardcover. They were nice books. These were hardcover books. But back in the day, they were costing $19.95 and up. But I was a member of the Science Fiction Book Club and read some really good books. And was taken to some faraway lands and planets and timelines, etc. That's really what got me hooked on the science fiction, genre and such, and really enjoyed that. So there's a lot, there's a lot of things with regards to reading. And getting back to what I was touching on earlier, there's studies, multiple scientific studies as well, from around the globe that prove if you read a lot, you tend to have a better vocabulary. You tend to be able to form your thoughts and express them in a more expressive way that others find easy to understand. And it helps with creativity. It helps with imagination. It helps with the synapses in your brain, keeping the brain active, just like if you were learning a language or a new skill or a musical instrument, etc. So that's something I'm going to put on the plate for 2025. 25 books or more in 2025, because I'm going to make a list. I am going to make a list of things I want to do in 2025, and, a to-do list, as it were. So we're going to do that. What else as 2024 closes? I didn't accomplish as much in the yard as I wanted to, our yard work around the house here. I wanted to pay more attention and detail to our lawn, maybe get it a little plusher, greener, take care of some back corners of the property where we had some overhanging weeds and bushes and, shrubbery growing. So that there was a little bit of a letdown. I got a lot accomplished, but there still was a lot more to do. But how about yourself? And this is something I like to do yearly. I'd like to start the year with, a lot of people on New Year's make New Year's resolutions. I make a 1-year to-do list, and then I break it down and set, 90-day goals throughout. By the end of 90 days, I want to have accomplished this, and that. And one last thing, I guess I could say here as we get ready to close out the program today, learning more songs on the bass guitar and the electric guitar / acoustic guitar, learning more songs to keep into a set list. I haven't accomplished and learned as many as I wanted to, but again, we're going to revisit that goal as well. I want to, and you see these musicians on TV and you think, my God, how do they know how to play all those songs? Well, because they actively play them. And, even if, like these older bands that are touring now, these, I guess you would call them classic rock bands, like, the Eagles and I think the Rolling Stones have stopped touring, if I'm not mistaken. Or was it Aerosmith, because Steven Tyler's vocal cords finally gave out, God bless him. But these bands that, have hits from the 70s and 80s, they got to sometimes go back and say, okay, yeah, we used to play the song. I got to remember how to play it. But keeping their minds fresh and active and doing stuff like that, so you can just pull out and say, we can go here and play. We got 20 songs that I know like the back of my hand, I guess would be the euphemism. I want to engage more in that and learn more in techniques. And I accomplished some things with playing the instruments, as far as fingerstyle guitar, for the acoustic and such. But still, it's a lifelong journey like anything in life, especially learning a musical instrument, and especially like the guitar, the bass guitar, acoustic guitar. That's a lifelong journey. I mean, you're going to be doing that forever. You always learn new things like anything in life. But I guess, 2024 wasn't a total disappointment. I learned a lot about myself. I grew as a person. I grew mentally. I've matured in some areas. And, again, in some ways I've let myself down a little bit, but I'm not going to beat myself up over it, because you know what? At the end of the day, still accomplished quite a bit. So maybe you want to do this too. You want to go through as the year is rapidly coming to a close, and it seemed like a quick year. It really did. Lots happening, lots going on. But sometimes it's time to, it's a good time to pump the brakes at times and just, shift down a little bit and kind of take stock of your life and things you want to do instead of always rushing haphazardly from one to the other, to the other, to the other. Because you can get burned out. And I did a few times throughout the year, and I had to pull back and, all the stuff going on here, had to pull back for a little bit from mental health reasons, just to, decompress. But I hope maybe by sharing, I brought you a little insight, or maybe motivated you to, if you don't do this, to maybe do this, take some inventory and think, okay, what, over the past year, how far have I come, and where do I want to be, and where do I need to go, and celebrate your victories and learn from mistakes and take it, push it forward and pay it forward. And who knows, maybe 2025 will be the best year yet. Hey, thanks for listening to the program today. I truly appreciate each and every one of you out there. And remember, to see a change in the world, you have to be the change in the world you want to see. It all starts with you, the person looking back at you in the mirror every morning. Remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to others. If you want to tweet at me on Twitter, it's at Terry Wyce. Stop by the website, wycethoughts.com, just to make sure you spell my name right, W-Y-C-E, wycethoughts.com. And hey, leave us a positive rating and review on your favorite podcast provider, won't you? Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your pets about Wyce Thoughts. And I look forward to gathering yet again around the virtual campfire with you real soon. Take care.